This is question 1 for my media evaluation. So, starting off with my trailer. Question 1. In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? So, my group noted that our trailer would have to follow some conventions in order for it to come across as a horror genre product. We watched many existing horror trailers to know what conventions are common. For example, we watched the Awakening trailer to duplicate their conventions. One common convention we used was based on Todorov's narrative structure theory, a theory which suggests that all stories from a similar structure.
The equilibrium comes first with a calm, happy beginning, followed by a disruption where strange problems start to evolve and characters notice this. Then comes battling for resolution, where all characters fight back and protect themselves. Commonly, this is where people start to die off in films. This structure is exactly what our trailer displays and is known as the cliché horror film. I believe this was a good convention to follow, as my research shows the audience like to watch the ordinary cliché horror, as they never disappoint.
Of course, this affected the way we edited our trailer in a positive way. Following this structure, we had to think carefully about slow and fast-paced music, cutting scenes to make them fast, and when to use high and low lighting to show when the equilibrium ends.
This helped create a build-up of tension in our trailer, which made our trailer successful in existing horror films. A main convention that I have followed in our trailer is having the typical setting.
These are usually spooky places like an old house, alleyways or woods.
Although we developed this form by using a modern house as opposed to an old mansion, I feel this just helps bring horror into the 21st century and makes it feel more realistic. In real horror films and trailers, there are a lot of plots that are based in a house.
For example, The Woman in Black and The Conjuring.
As a group, we thought that this plot could get boring and slightly repetitive for the audience to watch. However, our trailer has been updated in comparison to existing trailers, in the sense that the plot is based on university students in a modern house. This links in well with Steve Neal's genre theory. He suggests that the audience enjoy the repetition of genre elements, or on the other side, some audiences enjoy a film because it avoids the usual conventions. Camera angles are used specifically to make the audience uncomfortable, like a Dutch tilt or extreme close-up. In our trailer, we use both of these shots. We thought by using a Dutch tilt here, it would make the audience feel uncomfortable about where the stairs lead them. This, I feel, is a good Dutch tilt that portrays the horror genre well. We also wanted to use extreme close-up shots to really create an atmosphere and increase the audience's fears. In both of scenes, we can see the characters' facial expressions clearly. A theorist named Goddard believed that close-ups reveal an emotion and it creates emphasis. We also used a high-angle shot to show the sense of weakness in the characters. Here, the characters are all together in the dark to give the sense of fear and to show that they are in trouble and have no power over it. All of these shots are what I found to be the most common shots and angles in successful horror films, so by following this convention, I feel our trailer has portrayed the horror genre well to a professional standard. Challenging the camera angles to less popular ones would make it hard for us to build any tension in a horror trailer. Again, the movement in a lot of horror trailers consists of a point of view shot. I use this in order to build tension. In my trailer, the drama queen is being chased, which leads to her screaming. It was a very effective shot and really represented a horror trailer, just like the existing ones. The lighting of popular existing horror trailers tend to have scenes, mostly of low lighting, to emphasise the danger and darkness in them. They also provide the audience with a gloomy feel, full of mystery. As my trailer progresses, I have followed this convention to show the decrease in happiness. In fact, at one point, the whole lot of lights break out and the trailer is filled in complete darkness. I have seen this in the trailer, The Awakening, before and thought it had such a great effect on the viewers, I just had to follow this convention. I think that our horror trailer developed some conventions that are used in horror films today. For example, we took on Vladimir's prop character type theory, a theory which suggests all plots feature similar character types who play specific roles. He suggests a hero, a villain, a princess and helper are created to help the audience follow and understand the story better. Although we didn't use these specific stereotypes, we worked around them and developed each character type into a more updated version. For example, we made a princess into a drama queen. She is seen to shake and scream towards the end of the trailer to really represent her stereotype. We changed the helper into a nerd. She is seen reading or picking up her glasses. A villain into a ghost and a dispatcher into a goth, followed with our only male character presented as a hero. However, he isn't seen much in our trailer, which gives a lot of mystery and unanswered questions about him. This could give the impression that he is a fake victim and could really be a villain. He is seen to handle knives, which leaves a lot of unanswered questions. This theory has provided our trailer with our characters, and although we didn't mimic them, they were without a doubt developed into a modern version. However, when it came to character types, we did challenge a common convention of horror films. Men are mostly always seen as the powerful villain who destroys everybody. For example, Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason in Friday the 13th. However, we challenged these forms into a female villain. Breaking these conventions were risky, but it seemed to work for our trailer and the audience liked the change. We used a ghost to portray our supernatural theme, and this worked just as well as it would with a male villain. In more modern horror films, women are seen to play the villain, like in the film Jennifer's Body, 2009, and The Ring, 2002. Although we didn't analyse these trailers, they have had good reviews and positive responses. With the help of Rick Altman's genre theory, we have followed the convention of semantic and syntactic elements. We use semantic elements to portray our horror genre with the use of knives. This instantly gives a message to the audience, telling them this is a dangerous and must be a horror film. Our trailer has a few scenes where knives are shown to be handled. Using syntactic elements such as supernatural and revenge themes to represent the horror genre makes it easy for the audience to understand the genre. These are common elements that are used to represent the genre well. By relying on these two elements, our trailer is more enjoyable to watch and less confusing. The handling of the knives, however, links with Roland Barthes' code theory. Our trailer includes Enigma codes with elements of mystery in the plot. We also use action codes to lead the audience into guessing what will happen next. For example, who will get murdered with those knives? Many horror films and trailers do this to draw the audience in, making it seem more frightening. Now moving on to my magazine. During the research stage of analysing film magazines, I found the common conventions used in magazines, specifically horror. These forms, for example, are the main focus on a main character through the use of a medium close-up shot. Left thirds to position the writing neatly, presenting a price, a barcode and issue number, along with having cover lines and memorising masthead. This was useful because I went on to following these conventions to attract the buyers. My overall magazine outcome follows the traditional conventions of a horror magazine. I have done this in order for the audience to look at the product and instantly see that it is a horror magazine. The layout has been followed very closely to make it look as professional as possible. The main conventions I wanted to follow and do well was to have a great masthead and main image. These are the main focus on a magazine, so they have to represent the horror well. I feel my image uses the typical horror magazine convention. It's of a ghost who mimics a realistic character. This instantly compares my magazine to the existing horror magazines like Scream and Fangoria. I also followed the left thirds to keep my cover lines to the left, which makes my magazine neater and more professional. Some magazines break this form of layout, however I liked it and thought it made the design more pleasing to the eye. I have stuck to the dark colour palette that most magazines consist of red, black and grey, along with yellow to promote the feeling of illness. So, now looking at my poster. Just like the magazine, I followed the usual conventions of a poster, so my audience can instantly recall it's a horror genre. I got inspiration from the Descent poster, where the image mirrored a skull in the centre. I also like the idea of black corners with a lighter centre. The conventions I have followed consist of a release date, a dark colour scheme, the use of a large image and a tagline. I believe the tagline I came up with was catchy and memorable for the audience, yet it intrigues viewers to watch the film and see what it offers. The release date. If a poster was to be put up around a cinema, the viewers would want to know the release date. Without one, it's not exactly advertising the film well. This is a common thing that occurs on posters. Producers want the audience to remember the date and count down the days until it's in the cinema, so this was a crucial convention for me. Having a dark colour scheme. I use the colours black, white, red and yellow. All these represent horror in a different way. Black is associated with death, evil and mystery. It is a mysterious colour associated with fear and the unknown, which is why it is so common in horror films and advertisement. It usually has a negative connotation and is very aggressive. White means safety, purity and cleanliness, as opposed to black. White usually has a positive connotation. White can represent a successful beginning. This is where irony comes into horror, as white outfits may be covered in blood, which leaves it no more representing the cleanliness. It also defeats the object of safety, which can frighten the audience as it challenges moods. Red is the colour of fire and blood and is associated with power, danger and death. In advertising, red is often used to evoke erotic feelings, for example, red lips, red nails and blood. Red is a very emotionally intense colour which enhances the human metabolism, which makes it such a good colour for the horror genre as it stands out bold. And yellow-green was my touch. I thought it could indicate sickness, cowardice and jealousy. So, the cast and crew names. The credits appear at the bottom of the poster in the smallest font, which also acknowledges the production company's logos. This information isn't as interesting as the others, which is why it appears in the smaller font at the bottom of the poster. An eye-catching title. Having a title that has been designed to catch the viewer's attention was important, as this is the name they will remember. It is also the first thing they will notice about a poster. Characters on the poster. The main characters are presented in the centre of my poster to entice the audience to watch the film. This convention is used often when advertising, with the use of popular celebrities. If a fan loves the celebrity shown to be starring in a film, they are more likely to go and watch that film. I wanted to follow this convention and I think it balanced out the poster well. This mimics posters for the film A Tale of Two Sisters. They have the four main characters in the centre of the poster to intrigue the audience, but to also give a subtle hint to what the film offers. Challenging any of these conventions are quite risky because the audience may not be able to understand the poster, the magazine or the trailer if designed differently.